I'll be honest. I was the creative writing director
I knew you would be here. How are you?
What's up?
I always take these off. I've only worn them one time. I got them anyway. Because they're like, yeah, it's surprising. She still makes us try it because my older sister yeah. So I gave her some options because they're arranged anyway. But it's a full price. She only got me two because I couldn't want to stuff it.
Oh, I don't remember. in the family, yeah. It's gonna happen.
I've been in on both sides, right? For my family, we all have 4 boys. Then our boys have 2. And then their mother, his ex-wife, so in any family, my family, his family, or their mother's family, no problem. Brody just decided to start a couple of 2 months old. She's come over several times. We went over and it's fine.
She can already hold that.
Yeah. She's got one of those angel kisses. But it's already starting to change. And I went back and looked at her conversation. And I never noticed it the day she was born, but you can see this tiny red spot. And then it's but now it's starting to change, like, again. And I think they go away. Right? You might have a soft spot or a cutting words or I was back in the description. There's a tiny red mark where it was up. But that's yeah, especially because our son Austin always likes cooking. He works at Wild for which we've been eating at Eddie B's at Wild. Oh, right. And love the crab cake. Always excited. Well, our son works there now. He has a cookbook. So he's
Good evening, friends. We're delighted you're here. We want you to know that if you're standing on the sidelines, now's a good time to get a seat. We'll be starting in about 1 minute. Thank you.
Yeah, so he has a and we made the crab cake. Now, I'm really upset because instead of taking the time to buy the crab leg, asking myself about the stuff, it's like, you know, it's $20 for crab leg and raw. Yeah. About 2 items. There's a lot of problems. Okay. But I can tell you that it was crab leg. Yeah.
We were real close on crab.
Yeah, big time. If you're going to go through all that trouble, you may as well go about 40 restaurants. And I bet I would have gotten more meat for 40 minutes. Because it's all
Crab leg.
So we'll do it again. Every day. We don't have that with every day. That's one of the things that. That's right.
Crab leg actually so
You know what we always do?
Austin has the book. He's got all of this. Oh yeah, he's got all of this.
So, we've been going there so long. We used to go actually. This is back when we didn't even live together first. And so, I tried everything on the menu when it was Eddie B's, but they didn't change it. What was it called? I don't know. I'm obsessed with their smoky. And the last time I went there, we met Austin, Beyonce, Aaron. And actually, Vermont got to stand me. But the waiter knows what y'all want. Yeah, but here's the thing. It's like, you know, when you get that, you don't want anything else. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So, like, talking to it, like,
Boxes everything up after she sets out. That's the deal for us.
I don't need anymore. I was like, I'm just going to talk to you. Here's still wow. Our waiter was like, you gotta try the pineapple upside down. Did you ever get that before it went off the menu? The best thing ever. So all it is their butter cakes, which they still have. So it's not a menu. They can still make it because all it is their butter cakes. And they stick it. Pineapple on it. So this
With the butternut ice cream.
is
Yeah, it's
butter cake.
not crab, it's pineapple. Yeah.
Like, see, he's got a smile right now. Enjoy that smile. You may not see it. That doesn't mean he's not smiling.
And then I'll eat it over the stuff, you know. But once it's in the fridge and for slices, they pop it.
He could have been, he could have been, but I couldn't keep my mouth shut. Recognizing that, I'm sure about this guy. The city's recognizing
Or like a senior cheerleader.
Welcome. So glad to see all of you, including Show. Woo! Well, we welcome you one and all to the official kickoff of the 13th annual DreamWeek San Antonio. And this year we're celebrating the theme, do you know it? We are neighbor. Let's do it together. We are neighbor. Absolutely. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. You know, Dream Week takes place from January 10th through the 26th. So it's really outgrown the name Dream Week. That's pretty impressive because it's become one of the nation's largest community curated summits right here in San Antonio. I'm Wendy Holbrook and I'm the Executive Director of Interfaith San Antonio Alliance. And I'm honored to be your host for this evening of what will be true inspiration. This year we're focusing on that urgent message that being a neighbor is not a matter of mere geography. It is both a state of mind and morality. We Are Neighbor is intended to remind us of our interconnectedness and shared humanity. Regardless of our differences, we are each bound together by the common thread of our simple existence. When embracing the principles of empathy, solidarity, and mutual support, we foster a culture of neighborliness that transcends borders and transforms lives. Held every January, DreamWeek gives reverence to Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's dream of community through equality. DreamWeek San Antonio aims to promote the idea of exchanging inspiration through discussion, and eventually then to ignite change. DreamWeek, with a multitude of partners, many whom are in the room tonight, hosts civil open forum events to address real-world issues and trust that the truest voices will always prevail. In these upcoming 17 days, over 200 plus events will take place. Did you hear that? 200 plus. Film screenings, concerts, art exhibits, panel discussions, health and fitness expos, mixers, debates, fashion shows, galas, symposiums, youth summits, poetry slams, and dare I say more. I will note that the Festival of Faiths, which comes from Interfaith San Antonio Alliance, was launched during DreamWeek 2024. And this year's festival will extend this neighborly spirit into September. So DreamWeek continues to inspire and to grow throughout our community. It's a collective imagination. Tonight we want to welcome a new neighbor to San Antonio, and that's Ashley Alvarado. She's president and CEO of Texas Public Radio. We thank Texas Public Radio for providing this venue this evening. And she joins TPR after 2 decades as a journalist, having worked at the LA Times, Center for Investigative Reporting, and Southern California Public Radio. Thank you for hosting us, Ashley. Please come and share your thoughts.
I was going to say good evening, I'm Ashley Alvarado, but you know that part now. I'm now just starting my 2nd month here at Texas Public Radio, and I want to welcome you all to our headquarters and to the Malou and Carlos Alvarez Theater. As someone who has spent the last 20 years in community-based journalism and media, I'm so impressed and proud that San Antonio is not only home to the nation's largest MLK March, but a whole Dream Week, actually, as we just told, 2 Dream Weeks plus a couple of days, a citywide collaborative effort to come together and to move forward. The Dream Week mission is to celebrate our humanity by creating environments for civil and civic engagement, to embrace ideas and dream for the common good. Indeed, TPR's vision for this space is just that. And it's my hope that tonight and every time you return, you will find yourself embracing ideas, dreaming for the common good, and celebrating our collective humanity. Thank you all for joining tonight, and you are always welcome to come back. I look forward to working with all of you. Really, email me, ashley@tpr.org, and to help make this the best Dream Week, the best one yet. So now I'd like to hand it back over to Wendy Holbrook, tonight's MC.
Of the many favorite folks who are here tonight, we'd like to hear from Councilwoman Suk Kaur, and she is San Antonio's first South Asian to serve on City Council. And she knows that being a good neighbor requires consideration and paying attention to your neighbors. So this means she advocates for minimizing infrastructure disruptions to neighborhoods and businesses, improve public safety, and supporting small business. Welcome, Councilwoman Kaur.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, Wendy. I am so excited to be here with you all as the second Dream Week opening as your District 1 Councilwoman. The theme of this week's District 1, of this Dream Week this year, is really important to me. And as Wendy mentioned, it's We Are Neighbor. And the reason why is because in a world today that I feel like is built upon splitting us up as humans, it is more important now than ever that we find each other's common humanity. First line, already got a clap. One of my other great jobs that I get to do is teach yoga, as Sohail knows. And I was teaching class last night, and one of the foundational principles of yoga is namaste. And namaste means the light in me honors, recognizes, salutes the light in you, and that we are all one. And that principle somehow in today's world has gotten lost. And that's why I think it is so important that we all find a way to participate over the next 2.5 weeks in Dream Week, to share our stories with one another, to make sure we're connecting, and to ensuring that San Antonio is the epitome of what the rest of our nation should look like, which I truly believe, serving alongside our mayor, that it really is. We can be an inspiration for what's possible when we bring people together to come up with solutions for the problems that we are facing the most. The march is not just a one-day march to create justice, but it's about really figuring out what is it going to take to move our city and our country forward, to make sure that everyone, regardless of where they are born, the color of their skin, the person they love, has access to all the opportunities that all of us sitting in this room have today. So super excited to be inspired. I want to highlight 2 events that are in District 1. Hope you go check them out. First, have to say, Mobile Om is teaching free yoga on San Pedro Creek. And so if you can come take a class, I'll try to go to a couple. It's a beautiful way to experience one outside nature, but also connection with others. Even though you're not talking that whole hour, you can truly feel people's energy when you're practicing. So really encourage it. And even if you're a beginner, you can try it out. And then also at Launch SA next Friday, there's going to be an event for mental health and inclusion as leaders. And I don't think there's any way we can be inclusive leaders unless we truly understand who we are, have empathy, and recognize that we are all together the same. And so we hope as council, with Councilwoman Adriana Rocha Garcia here as well, that we embody those principles of We Are Neighbor every day, and we'll be looking forward to leading you all in that effort, continuing at least until May. Thank you all.
Thank you, Suk. Next, we'll hear from Centro San Antonio's president and CEO, Trish DeBerry. Trish believes that superheroes come in all shapes and sizes. With her intellect and a passion for making a difference, there is no doubt that Trish is built for speed and performance to find solutions to problems most find too vexing to conquer. No wonder she's a Dream Week partner. Trish?
Good evening, everyone. How inspiring it is to be here. I'm dressed a little bit for rodeo today because earlier this morning we were promoting February and Western Heritage Weekend. So anyway, I'm in my rodeo gear, but there's always something. You were part of the Centro board for a while, so kudos to you for the vision that you had and how this has started and how it has grown magnificently, by the way. Round of applause. Yes. And by the way, welcome to downtown. I feel like this is my home away from home because we have a lot of events here at TPR. Bobby's here. Ashley, welcome. We're so glad that you're a part of the community. Warmer in California these days than it is right here, right? But typically the cold temperatures don't last too long, so that's a good thing. Listen, I love the fact that really when we talk about the theme being neighbor, really downtown is everyone's neighbor. We talk about the fact that it is District 1, obviously, but downtown is everyone's neighborhood, and it should be. So remember that next time you come into downtown, because every district, all 10 in San Antonio, should consider downtown a part of its DNA. And when we talk about neighbors, it could be someone who lives next door to you. It could be someone in your workspace that is next to your cubicle. It could be that, from a territory standpoint, it's the state. And we have lots of neighboring states, and we have neighboring countries, especially to the south. But being a neighbor means what? Being a neighbor means that we are kind and decent people, right? So I'm going to date myself a little bit, and I'm going to keep this short. Spike Lee is one of my favorite directors. And being a neighbor means what? Do the right thing, right? Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Trish. Next, we're going to hear from Shakara Nakbodia, because he is a friend to everyone he meets. True? So true. He's the DreamWeek founder, visionary. Show has been a devoted neighbor to his adopted home of San Antonio, Texas. And with gratitude, please welcome the DreamWeek founder, Shakari Nakbodia.
All right. It's already Dream Week, right? Now they can't get my, sir. Okay.
Noah, I think he still wants a little.
Yeah, I need to see my face. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. We have all these events and we just focus on so many other things. So I know actually probably 80% of you here got a text from me, so thank you for being here. And that makes it even more difficult because I have so many close friends here that I had to hide in the car and just come out because I can't see. The last time it happened, I was multicolored on my t-shirts and stuff. But that's another joke. But Mayor, unfortunately, not going to be here for the Dream Ball this year, and we had to do a little push-up contest yesterday morning. But I was strict, not a neutral ground. City Hall, Chief of Staff, all hailing him, and obviously he won, right? Obviously he won. Look at his biceps, right? But we're going to have a rematch right now.
Nice.
Yeah, no, you can't do this. You can't do this. So this, our theme for this year's Dream Week is We Are Neighbor. And I just remember a lot of people calling and saying, I think you've missed an S, that we are neighbors. But the truth is that the neighbor itself is your imagination or your construct of what somebody else is without meeting them. And so we have neighbors all the time. But maybe you read some book of someone who lived 500 years ago that impacted you. That also is a neighbor. The act of sitting down in an Uber and talking to a driver, that's a neighboring act. And so all these relationships and engagements with other individuals is a neighboring act. And so We Are Neighbor is really about the fact that anything we project out there, we wake up the next morning or the next day, we actually meet it. And we have to be very careful what we put out. And so I have so many friends who will post on social media and they post to be a good person, you can't be a bad person. One of those cliches, right? That doesn't really add up. But the goal is that we have to see those things as polluting things that affect people. A smile in the morning to someone, just random person you see, you're walking across on the street, you don't know the impact that little smile has. And so it's important that we see everything as neighboring. So I'm going to mention two quick stories and just really focus on my point here. The first one was a very good friend of mine, works at, I'm not going to mention the corporation, but successful guy, very good friend, dinner, about 2 or 3 years ago. And somehow or the other, actually it was before the election, the one candidate, well, Trump, had no chance then, right? And he said, oh yeah, I know this. Now this is a very good friend of mine. I would consider him a very well-read guy. He said, oh yeah, you and the mayor have rigged it, right? He really meant it. This is a very good friend of mine. He meant it. This is somebody that I would consider not even a neighbor, like family. You and the mayor have rigged it. And I'm thinking, how does this work? I mean, I'm going to be at a graveyard somewhere at midnight with taking names from grave sites with the mayor with a torchlight. I mean, how does this work? In his mind. So that was really an issue of not neighboring, proximity, but not really getting that whole neighboring thing done. He doesn't understand how this thing works. And it's not as if Mayor and I didn't have those kind of ambitions, but I'm saying we didn't do it, right? The second one is just more recent, and a dear friend of mine, a well-known lawyer here, said, Show, just inviting her actually to this event, Show, I can no longer support DreamWeek because, and she read, very similar to what was said, and said, but you guys did not even ever mention Gaza. And it's the second year running, I can't support DreamWeek. And that's from the lack of understanding what DreamWeek is as a summit. But it's also a reflection on what our work, our job, that we have to do much more in reaching out to people, and so they can feel confident enough, and we'll give them the resources that way they can air their grievances as well in this kind of. I have to thank Councilwoman Adriana, who's been an incredible supporter of DreamWeek and all the work we do. Suka, Councilwoman Suka as well. And I'm always envious when the last time I saw you was at Diwali, and I went, God, this is something exceptional. I wish we could have a Diwali for every community, you know? Can you imagine an African version of it here? We're having it. It's coming. And of course, you know, Ernest, oh wow, please stand up. Look at this. Ernest Martinez, you know who this young man is? He runs the Cesar Chavez March, and that is something that is also something that we need to grow. It's growing rapidly. It's becoming one of the biggest. And just to mention a little quick for him, he just reached out to me and said, we have 3 videos of the late Reverend Callis and who was it now? Huh? Rosa Parks and Carl Lewis, Rosa Parks and Carl Lewis, who were marching in San Antonio. Before this became the MLK March, they were marching for the holiday. And he has 3 of those videos decided to be part of DreamWeek. So we're going to be having a view of this. So there's so many stories that can come out of this. I saw my dear, yes, Beverly Watts Davis. Please round of applause for this woman. So every year she has a basket honestly, this massive. Thank you. Oh wow. Neighbor. Right. You know, she has this massive that she gives. She searches for me and presents this basket. I haven't given her anything ever. I'm serious. And I realized that the last time I said, come to my car, and it was full of it, so I wasn't the only one. But she does that. And this is how people get introduced and welcomed into a community. And that's why I'm here. There's Lee from the Bonham Exchange. Riley from Outpace. My brother, Suhail. I can keep going on here. Ernie is there from the Carver. I saw him. Cassandra is here. Somebody's going to get mad at me now. The mayor is here. And so, please, thank you as well, State Rep. No. He's the only one that has a better voice. And Andrea, my brother from Visit San Antonio as well. Chris Herring, Global Chamber, thank you all. I think we have a few more people. Oh God, this is gonna, I know everyone here, sorry. Angie, I'm sorry. And of course, can't forget Francesca from YWCA as well. Trish, thank you so much. Miss San Antonio, please, I need one photograph with you before I leave. Come. I'm gonna have everybody in my home country really mad at me. Come on. One quick shot.